Thank you all for coming. Here today, obviously, to introduce the newest Oiler, Corey Perry. On Saturday, late Saturday afternoon, I was in Calgary for the game against the Flames, and we agreed to a one-year contract. I was hoping to keep it a secret and have an announcement today. It's getting harder and harder to keep things secret in the world that we live in, so that's why I'm here today to introduce Corey. In 2019, when Corey was bought out by the Anaheim Ducks, my first year here as the manager of the Oilers, I went after Corey hard, and unfortunately made a decision to go to Dallas. So I've kind of been hot after Corey a little bit, or not a little bit, hot after Corey the last few years. I think he's the type of player that every team wants on their team. He's got an incredible winning pedigree. We were just talking inside there. We were together in 2010 in Vancouver when Canada won the Olympic gold. When I was in Detroit in 2007, they beat us in the third round and went on to win the Stanley Cup. He's won a World Championship, Memorial Cup, World Junior. So certainly he's been a player that's been on a lot of winning teams. When Chicago terminated his contract earlier this year, at some point in time after that, I reached out to his agent, Pat Morris, to wonder find out what was going on. And over the course of the last few weeks, I've done due diligence to get to this point. I would say that I've talked to Bill Daly. I know that at Corey's request, he reached out to Commissioner Bettman and Bill Daly, and Corey and his agent Pat Morris went and met together in person so that Corey could tell Commissioner Bettman and Bill Daly as to why his contract was terminated in Chicago. And I have talked to Bill Daly. I've talked to Kyle Davidson, the general manager of the Chicago Blackhawks. We've talked to other people that know Corey, and talked internally. I've talked to, obviously, Coach Knobloch and Jeff Jackson and people in our organization, and ultimately decided in talking to Corey and talking to Pat and the things that Corey has gone through here over the last 2 months to get to this point, to make himself a better person, that between the hockey, what he brings to a hockey team, his winning pedigree, and what he's done over the last couple of months to, like I said, make himself a better person, we felt that this was an opportunity to add a player that could make us better on and off the ice. He's a great leader. I love come playoff time, you think about blue paint goals and greasy goals, and that's what Corey stands for. So I'm excited today to introduce Corey to the Edmonton Oilers, and I'll let Corey talk, and obviously we'll be open for questions.
Well, hey guys, it's over the last 2 months, I've really had a chance to reflect and get the help and take full responsibility for what happened in Chicago, and try to better myself. And those are the things that I've been working on. I've been working on with people in the mental health field and in different fields. So it's been a long time to get back to this spot, to be back on that ice with players in the NHL. And I have to thank my family, my friends, all the support I've gotten, the support from my counselors, and just trying to better myself each and every day. And from where I was two months ago to where I am today, I think it's been a world of difference, the help I've gotten and to where I've come from. On the hockey side, I'm excited to be here. This is a passionate fan base. It's an exciting town, exciting time of the Oilers organization. I mean, you look around that room, you got some pretty tremendous players in Connor, Leon, Darnell, and the list just keeps going on. So, like I said, I got to say thank you to the Oilers organization, to Ken, to everybody involved, to be here, sitting here today, and talking in front of you guys.
Hey, Corey. Reed Wilkins from 630 Ched. You mentioned what you've been through over the last couple months because you're an NHL player. You know, there's reporting and a public aspect of that as well. Was hockey always in the forefront of your mind? Or were you ever concerned, hey, I don't know if I'm going to play again? I'm just wondering about that.
Well, when everything happened and my contract was terminated, I didn't know where things were going to go. So at first, I took care of myself, and that was at the front of it. Is take care of yourself, get yourself in a better position, and move on from there. Take it day by day, and it's been 2 months, and every day is a step in the right direction, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
What was it like? You guys, Anaheim, you were playing against those guys. Certainly, you became a bit of a villain with Oilers fans as well. How is it like being in that dressing room around those guys, and now you're going to have some of those fans cheering for you?
It's exciting. This isn't the first team I've been on where fans, or I've had battles with other players or whatever. So you walk into the dressing room, you say hi, you get it out of the way, and you move on. I'm excited to really get down to work with these guys and put the work in and see where this thing can go.
Hi, Ken. You guys have a pretty good thing going here, 13 straight wins. Is there a risk in adding a big personality? People say, if it's not broken, don't fix it, or don't upset the apple cart. Is this something that you had to talk to the players in the room about and sort of get a team view towards this?
When you ask that question, my first thought would be Specs up here, and he's been wondering where he's supposed to be on trade deadline day. If that's the thought process, then you should just all stay home. Obviously, you're trying to make the team better. Been fortunate to be around some good teams through the years, and you never really know. But certainly, we're adding a player here that like I said, he's won at every level. I got to watch him firsthand in Detroit. We had some battles when he was in Anaheim and I was in Detroit. Got to know him a little bit when we were together in 2010 in the Olympics. We're adding a player that, in my opinion, plays playoff hockey, greasy, gritty, dirty, heavy on the puck, down low. You need lots of depth. You don't know about injuries as you go into the playoffs, so you need lots of players. You need lots of depth up front. You need lots of depth on the defense. And Corey and I talked to Chris today. We're kind of shooting for Saturday. Have a good week of practice, and because then we go into that 9-day break, and then don't come out until I think the following Tuesday in Vegas. So I'd like to get him to play a game here before we go into the break. Obviously, I think Chris was here. We put in Holloway the other night. I think he put in Gagner, and Gagner scored the winning goal. So, we're on a great run, but we're going to lose some games here. It's the National Hockey League, and there's 40 games to go. So today, I think we got our team better, deeper, bigger, stronger, more competitive, and over the next, from here to the trade deadline, we'll continue to see if we can find ways to make our team better.
He brings that bite that, like you talked about. Just how valuable is that when you look at your top six? You don't want to play against those guys. Now you look at your bottom six and send out a guy like that.
Well, and Corey can talk here after. What I like about Corey, he can slide up and down the lineup. He's obviously early in his career, he was a frontline player. Him and Getzlaf carried the Anaheim Ducks, and as his career has gone on, he's got a little bit older. He slid down the roster. He can play on your power play. He can. We had talked about. As we've gone through the process here over the last week or 10 days, as I know Corey had some other teams that to consider. We've got some people here the forwards that can carry the puck and transport the puck. He's got great hockey sense and can move the puck. And you're trying to look for, pieces that all fit together. So you need some transporters, some people that win battles, go to the blue paint, can give and go. So we kind of felt that it was a beautiful fit because we have some players here that he can complement up and down the lineup in the top six and the bottom six. And he can play either. He can go up the lineup if we need him, and he can go down the lineup if we need him, and he can play on our power play. Certainly, we've got a good power play, but he kind of lived in that blue paint through the years. So he brings lots of different dimensions to our team.
Corey, and you're right here. Jason Greger from Sports 1440. You'd mentioned in your original statement back in November how you were, looking to get help for mental health and some substance abuse counselors. What do you say to the people out there? Because lots of people maybe are going through similar stuff like that. What advice to give them? What'd you learn about yourself during the last few months in regards to that?
This whole situation is not easy. But if you do have a problem, get help. Seek out. There's no shame in it. It's just if you need the help, go find it and treat yourself. I mean, when I get up in the morning every day now, I can look myself in the mirror and be happy about myself and where I'm going and be proud of what I've done over the last 2 months.
So now you come back. Hockey's obviously what you love. Why did you ultimately? What was it about Edmonton? When you had a lot of suitors that you decided, Ken's mentioned he's tried to get you a few times. Why was this the right time now?
Well, I do want to say that there was some other suitors out there that that were great options, and I want to thank them. But it all kept coming back here. When you have a 6-year-old kid and you have Connor McDavid on the team, you kind of follow the Edmonton Oilers a little. So, but all jokes aside, this team's going in the right direction, and not just because they've won 13 games in a row, but you can see where they're going and their mindset and the vision they have that, they want to win a Stanley Cup here. And I think you look at the pieces around that dressing room, as Ken alluded to, that, there's guys in there that can play this game and play it well, and when you really get down to it, there's a team in here that wants to win. And when I talked to Connor, over this before I ended up coming here and signing, he mentioned all the great things that dressing room has, and it really spoke words and spoke volume for me coming here.
Corey, certainly want to respect your privacy in these matters, but do have to ask, is there any more light that you can shed on to what happened in Chicago that led to your contract being terminated?
I think when I put out my statement that, it kind of mentioned everything, and, that's kind of all I'm going to elaborate on.
Fair enough. Your discussion with, the Commissioner, Bill Daly, how would you sort of characterize that discussion? And, at no point has the league put any roadblocks in terms of you coming back, so you had their blessing, I assume?
Yeah, I talked with my agent, Pat, and, it was kind of our decision to see if they would see us. We reached out to them, and we found a meeting spot, and I went in, and it was a great conversation. I got his more or less blessing to come back, and he just asked, how I'm doing personally, and that's all he really, that's what he wanted to know, and what I've been doing and what I'm going to continue to do, and seeing people and continue to talk to people and keep getting help and do all the right things, and today here we are, and this is what it's all about, is coming back and being in the right spot and being healthy again and playing hockey and doing what I love.
Just back here. Ken, I ask this because contracts in the National Hockey League are terminated very infrequently. Do you feel like you know everything that happened in Chicago, and from an off-ice perspective, why are you comfortable bringing him in that sense?
Well, do I know every detail? No, but I have talked to Kyle Davidson, who obviously is the manager of that team. Again, I'm like, I can't tell you exactly what we said, because I told him I can't tell you exactly, but based upon my conversation with Kyle Davidson, my conversations with Bill Daly, my conversations with Corey, what Corey has done over the last 2 months to get help, and we've talked to some other people, ultimately led us to making this decision to be here today.
And for Corey, Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic. I just wonder if you have any plans to appeal that termination of your previous contract with the Blackhawks.
I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Right here, Mark Spector from Sportsnet. It's been a long ride. We would probably first have met you or remembered you from the North Dakota World Junior team way back then.
Yeah.
You got almost 1,300 games, almost 200 playoff games. You're been to multiple Stanley Cups. Maybe just, did you ever think the journey would go quite the way it's gone for you?
I think, what was it, we were talking earlier, it was 20 years ago, I was almost an Edmonton Oiler in a trade, and I was at a World Junior Camp that year in Kitchener, and I remember everything going on there. So it's almost been 20 years to the day where, I was an Oiler. But this ride's been pretty amazing. Being fortunate to play for some good teams, some good coaches, some good general managers, some good players. You know what? You don't dream of this. It just you dream of it, but I mean, working at it and nothing but hard work is got me here, and that's what I've been fortunate enough to do.
We've asked a lot of the Oilers what it's like playing against you. I don't know how much of this last 2 months of Oilers hockey you've watched, but they're playing a pretty decent brand of hockey now. Can you tell us about playing against the Oilers through your career and what you see now?
Through my career, my first year in the NHL, they beat us in the conference finals. I remember that very, very vividly. And this team, there's been some ups and downs, but it's going in the right direction, and it's only getting up, and it's only getting better. And obviously playing against the two guys that are in that dressing room, and Leon and Connor being probably, if not the best player in the world. What he does, you can see what he did in practice today, and you just shake your head. And I'm excited just to be a part of it and to learn and keep pushing forward.
Corey, in terms of skills that you're still developing, I'm just wondering, you look at the last 4 years and your production was better in the postseason than it was in the regular season. Is that a skill that you've acquired? What would you account for that in terms of managing your game as you've gotten older to be ready when it really matters?
There's just something about playoffs that, it's one day I walked into the rink one day, and I remember having a conversation with John Cooper, and he goes, "How do you feel?" I go, "It feels like playoffs. It feels like it's a different scent in the air." And we weren't even playing for a couple more days, but it was just the regular season's over. It's playoff time, and that's when you push everything to the side, and your only focus is for 8 weeks. You have one job, and there's nothing better than winning, and that's what it comes down to. That's why you play this game, is to win.
Hey, Corey. Derek Van Diest, NHL.com. Just want to ask you about how much you've been skating in the last 2 months and how you're feeling physically, and your thoughts on being able to hopefully play on Saturday.
I've been skating quite a bit. When the whole situation went down, I was in Chicago for a little bit. My family's still in Chicago. I got out and I went home. And I had my personal trainer there. I had my power skating coach in Kathy McElwain. I had ice over Christmas. So I've been on the ice 4 or 5 times a week since probably early December. So I've been keeping up with everything, and because if I didn't, and this day did come, I'd be behind the 8 ball. So but today was a good day, and it's only going to get better from there.
Corey, your style of play is very unique. You've played most of your career in the U.S. The 1 year in Montreal, unfortunately, wasn't full crowds yet that year in the Canadian division. What's the experience like? Obviously, you played in London. What are you looking forward to playing in a Canadian market in a regular season?
Well, I think you can say the fan base in Edmonton is tremendous, and just being in Canada and being a part of hockey in Canada, it's there's only a certain amount of teams in Canada that people cheer for. So, but to be here and to put on the Oiler jersey is a special feeling, and you know what, it's life in Canada. Hockey is life, and there's no better place to play.
You look forward to the fact you go to a fan base that basically despised you when you played on the other team. And I mean that in a compliment. Obviously, usually they despise guys that have success against them. Many were wondering, do you still think was that goal legal in 2017?
Which one are you talking about?
The Kessler.
Oh, the one where we tied it?
Yeah.
I have no issue with it. The league had no issue with it. Puck went in the net over the red line, and you move on to overtime.
Hi, Ken, over here.
Yep.
Preston from Daily Hive Edmonton. The team has been getting some great goaltending over this 13-game winning streak. Obviously, Stuart Skinner is fantastic, but Calvin Pickard has been able to play pretty well as well. So I was wondering how that kind of will affect your plans going into the trade deadline here in the next few months.
When players are playing really good, those are nice problems to have. So, our pro scouts are flying in today. I think like most teams, all 32 teams in the National Hockey League, either think last week or this week, they're having pro meetings. We're going to have pro meetings here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I have been reaching out and had some communication with many general managers over the last week in preparation to see what some teams out there might be thinking. We have to decide what we're thinking. In the meantime, the most important thing is that we've kept winning. We've obviously put ourselves into we're in the playoffs today, but we need to keep winning games, keep kind of solidifying a playoff position. That's got to happen over the next month. I do anticipate that most trades are going to happen. March 8th's the deadline, say the couple weeks leading into that. So I just keep watching. Stu Skinner's playing, I think, as good as any goaltender. I don't know, was he a 940, 935, 940 saves percentage over the last 15, 16, 17 games? Our team is playing really good team defense. Obviously right now everything's going good. Now, again, it's the NHL. I've been around for a long time. At some point in time, it comes off a little bit and goes the other way. That's why I talked to Rob about the importance of having lots of players and lots of depth. But I don't really have an answer for you. I got to bring our people in. I got to keep watching games and ultimately make a decision. But Cal Pickard's playing great. Stu Skinner's playing great. Actually, Jack Campbell is playing great now. He got off to a real tough start in Bakersfield. I think in his last 11 games, he's over a 920, almost a 920 saves percentage. I know he gave up 2 goals and 35 shots thereabouts on Saturday night, and he's had lots of those over the last little while. So those are good problems. Those aren't bad problems. But we'll kind of assess what we're going to do here over the next 3 days, and then start to work the phones. It depends what's going on out there, and as Rob had said, hopefully this in a Corey, and we can keep winning, and things look good. So just got to keep watching.